Back overseas, we want to give you an up-close look at the brutality of the conflict going on in Iraq right now. This morning, Iraqi forces attacked Tikrit from the northwest, the latest attempt to dislodge terrorists from that city. But it's slow going, thanks to crudely constructed minefields laid by ISIS fighters. Mike Giglio is a correspondent with BuzzFeed. He joins me by phone from Baghdad. Mike, good morning. You've been writing about the IEDs being left by ISIS. Not a new tactic, but you indicate they've taken it to new levels, right?
Yeah, thanks, Jose. What we're seeing is, and I've been around talking to the different fighting groups who are taking on ISIS here around Iraq, and we're seeing an unprecedented amount of IEDs. And the issue here is they're not just targeting a convoy or a base with an attack. They're actually using IEDs in the fashion of anti-personnel minefields and just putting them everywhere where they've had control. So you see IEDs filling fields around the region now. You've got IEDs booby-trapped in house after house. And it's creating a real problem for the forces here who don't have any kind of expertise really to deal with it. And also there's going to be real issues with civilian casualties.
Yeah, I mean, the whole issue of civilian casualties, and once you lay a minefield like this of rudimentary landmines, this will stay there for decades, maybe even generations, affecting folks. So how are Iraqis fighting this threat?
I was with three different groups of fighters who were taking on ISIS. The first was the Peshmerga, the Kurds in the north of the country, who really have become the main U.S. ally on the ground in terms of coordinating most of the airstrikes with the Kurds at this point. And they do have some units, designed to deal with dismantling IEDs, but they really have very little experience. They're kind of learning on the job, and what we found is that their equipment is really rudimentary, dangerously so. And the amount of training that they've gotten from their Western allies has been really, really almost non-existent, a couple courses here and there, but really nothing large scale that's going to get them ready to deal with the conflict.
And then, Mike, what about the Iranians? Have you seen their involvement in any of this?
So another thing I did was go out with the Shia militia, who are really the main forces on the ground right now in terms of government offenses. They're really carrying the weight right now. We went out to Tikrit, for example, in the suburbs there, and spoke to some of the fighters. The Shia militia are extremely, for the most part, inexperienced. They had a big rush of volunteers this summer, and they don't have any real capability to deal with this other than just not really taking into account the risks and just going out and trying to dismantle bombs, and they're losing their lives pretty regularly. They did tell me that they have some assistance from Iranian experts on IEDs. Now, I couldn't get them to go into specifics, and they also wouldn't let me interview. But what they said was that they had given training and that they had given them some expertise. And I did hear that they were out in the field, although it's just something I could confirm as far as their specific role. But I would say whatever it is, the vast majority of the effort is really just these inexperienced fighters just dealing with it on an ad hoc basis. So they go into a village and then, a guy who is brave enough goes into a house and tries to deal with any bombs that might be inside.
BuzzFeed's Mike Giglio, extraordinary reporting. I really appreciate your time from Baghdad this morning. It is the first